Once upon a time there lived in Curtain Village a little country girl, the prettiest creature was ever seen. Her mother was excessively fond of her, and her grandmother doted on her still more. This good woman had met for a little Red Riding Hood, which became the girl so extremely well that everybody called her Little Red Riding Hood. One day, her mother having made some custard and said to her, "Go, my dear, and see how the grandma does, for I hear she has been very ill. Carry her custard and this little pot of butter." Little Red Riding Hood set out immediately to go to her grandmother, who lived in another village. As she was going through the wood, she met a gabber wolf, who had a very great mind to eat her up. But he dared not, because of some faggot makers hard by in the forest. He asked her whither saying she was going. The poor child, who didn't know that it was danger to stay, and her wolf dog said to him, "I'm going to see my grandma and carry her custard and little pot of butter from my mama."
Does she live far off?
Yeah, it's that beyond that mill you see there, at the first house in the village.
Well, and I'll go and see her too. I'll go on this way and you go that way, and we shall see who will be there soonest.
Knock knock. Who's there? Your grandchild, Little Red Riding Hood, who has poked you a custard and little pot of a butter sent you by Mama. Pull the bobbin and the latch will go up. The wolf pulled the bobbin and the door opened, and presently he fell up on the good woman and ate her up in a moment, for it was above 3 days that he had not touched a bed. He then shut the door and went into the grandmother's bed, expecting Little Red Riding Hood, who came some time afterward and knocked the door. "Knock knock. This is your grandchild, Little Red Riding Hood, who has brought you a custard and a little pot of butter Mama sent you." Little Red Riding Hood, hearing the big voice of the wolf, was at the first afraid, but believing her grandmother had got a cold, and was the horse, answered the Little Red Riding Hood is like. The wolf cried at her, softening his voice as much as he could. Little Red Riding Hood pulled the bobbin and the door opened. The wolf, seeing her coming, said to her, hiding himself under the bedclothes. Little Red Riding Hood undressed herself and went into the bed, where being greatly amazed to see how grandmother looked in her nightclothes, she said to her, and saying these words, this wicked wolf fell upon Little Red Riding Hood and ate all her up. "Grandma, what the great arms you have got! Grandma, what great legs you have got! Grandma, what great ears you have got! Grandma, what great eyes you have got! Grandma, what great teeth you have got!